Okay, guys, this is your last video for today's lecture. This is going to walk us through the development of detailed screw threads in AutoCAD, which are a little more complex than simplified or schematic. So just a reminder, these are our notes from our planning session on the end cap. This is the data that we gathered, that it's a 1" 8 UNC2A, that the minor diameter is 8512. Okay, so I'm going to head over to AutoCAD again. I'm working in model space. I'm working in model space. We're drawing two-dimensional views. We're not doing any 3D modeling. Those views have to be in their proper home. They have to line up. Don't break glass block rules, etc. So here, this part has a lot going on, and I couldn't develop this part without three views, and in fact, I'm not done with it. I don't have my hidden line in over here for my hex and so forth. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to work just on the threaded portion of this. And so we want to make sure that we have our correct offsets. So this hidden line here, I believe that that's a through hole that I've projected from one of these other views. I can go check that. But I'm going to offset from my center line. I'm going to offset off to my major diameter. So we know that the major diameter is 1. So I'm going to offset the center line 1/2 inch up and 1/2 inch down. So offset 0.5. I'm going to go up and I'm going to go down. Okay, so that's my major diameter. I'm going to do the same thing with my minor diameter. So just a reminder, our minor diameter here was 0.8512. 0.8512. So I'm going to offset. And I can't remember if I've taught you guys this, but I'm going to use the calculator in the middle of the command. And so AutoCAD has its own built-in calculator. And to run the calculator transparently, which means to run it during another command, we're going to put in the apostrophe, and then type in CAL, enter. And it's going to ask us for an expression here. So our number again, 0.8512. So my expression here is going to be 0.8512 over 2. And what that's going to do is it's going to divide 0.8512 divided by 2. And whatever that number is, it's going to use it as the offset distance here. So from here up, that's my minor diameter. From here down, that's my minor diameter. Now, in our planning session, that's what we did. We offset so that we had the minor radius, major radius here. And then from this face of the part, we offset the pitch. So I'm going to offset, it's 1/8 because it's 8 threads per inch. And that's going to create this rectangular shape right here. I'm going to turn line weights off for a little while, and we're going to work right in this rectangle, just like we did on your notes. We're going to draw 4 lines. We're going to start with a line that comes from here. Now, if my total angle on my thread is 60, then my angle from this edge to the first line is going to be 30. But this direction is 90, and so it's going to be 90 plus 30. So I'm going to go at, who cares how long, direction, 90 plus 30 is 120. And that's going to be my first line segment. I'm going to trim that line back to my rectangle so that that's all I have. Now, let's go back to our planning and let's refresh on what we're doing right here. Okay, we're attempting to draw these 4 red lines. Now, I just drew this one. I need another one over here that is the mirror image of this with an unknown distance here and an unknown distance here. So here's what I do know about those 2 unknown distances. Those 2 unknown distances are equal to each other. So sit back and watch what I'm going to do. See if it makes sense to you, and then I'll undo it and do it again. I'm going to mirror this line. I'm just going to use my 2-dimensional mirror command. I'm going to mirror that line, making sure ortho is on. And what that does is it gets me the other line going the correct angular direction. Now look here. This distance right here inside the blue box is twice the size it should be, and this distance between these 2 points is 0. So what I really want to do is I want to take half of this distance and move it up between these 2 points. Now watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to move that line from this point to the shift right click mid between this point and this point. And what that does is it makes this distance and this distance exactly and precisely the same. Okay, I'm going to undo that and I'm going to explain it again. Okay, so right now the distance between these 2 points up here is 0, and the distance between these 2 points is twice what it should be. So what we really want is we want this line to start midway between these points and continue in the direction that it's in. And what it would do is it would leave the same amount. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to move that from this endpoint to the shift right click. Oops, hello. Undo. I'm going to move it from this point, shift right click, to the midpoint between these two. It's going to slide that over. And this distance between these 2 points and the distance between these 2 points is going to be dead on exactly the same. And it's absolutely perfect because basically it's a geometric construction. Okay, we're going to trim that now. And I'm going to trim to the 2 white lines and the 2 green lines. And what I want to trim this down to is I want to trim it down to the point where it has the 4 lines that we drew. I'm also going to trim to there. So there are the 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, that we drew in red on our planning sheet. Now I'm going to take all 4 of those lines and I'm going to put them on the profile visible lines layer. Okay? I do not need this line any longer. Okay? So here's what we have. We have precisely 1 thread profile. 1 thread profile. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rectangular array those until I have enough of them to finish this part. So this line at this end, this is the offset for the absolute end of the part. So that's where my threads need to end. So I'm going to do a rectangular array. It asks me to select objects. I'm going to select these 4 things, enter, and it gives me columns and rows. Okay, we already know we only want 1 row. And we don't know how many columns right now. We'll think about that in a minute. We want the between distance to be -1/8. -1/8. That's going to take those that direction. Now, you can do the math and calculate how many of these you need. I'm going to guess I need about 4 more. So let's go 8. That'll work. I actually only need 7, huh? Let's go 7. Okay, and that's pretty darn close to what I need right there. Okay, I'm going to take the array, make sure associative is off. I'm going to keep that array, and that's going to be the beginnings of what's going to happen here. Okay, now I need to have threads on the opposite side, and here's what we need to understand. We need to understand what happens on the opposite side of the thread. Do not mirror these, because that wouldn't be true. What we are going to do is we're going to copy them. And we're going to copy them from this point here to this point here. Okay? So they are not opposite each other. Remember, it's coiling around as a groove. And so if it's poking out here, its direct opposite place cannot also be poking out or be external. Okay, I'm going to take these 2 construction lines away. All right, and that's the beginnings of what we're going to do. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back and refer to our PowerPoint, because one of the things that kind of gets lost online that we get a lot of in lecture is you get me, overemphasizing things. Don't forget this, don't forget that. In the PowerPoint, this is hugely important, and this is on slide 8 of the PowerPoint. When I turn a screw and it advances into a threaded hole, it's always righty-tighty and lefty-loosey. You may have heard that before, okay? Now, in the PowerPoint, you saw there is an opportunity to make a left-handed thread. They're very, 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 very rare. They happen occasionally for certain things. But to draw a right-handed thread in which righty is tighty, the lines are going to slant from upper left to lower right. Okay, so they're leaning at, like, I don't know, about 110 degrees. Okay, and the other thing we want to note is that those lines go from crest to crest and from root to root. So back over here in AutoCAD, I'm going to draw some lines. And the lines I'm going to draw are going to go from the crest to crest. Oops. Did I turn snap on? Okay. Crest to crest and root to root. Okay, that's what those lines are going to look like. Now, I'm going to array those so I don't have to draw a ton of them. I'm going to rectangular array those 4 lines. Okay, the distance is going to be 1/8. We're going to have only 1 row. And we're going to have, how many did we have? We had 7. Okay, so there we are. There's our 7. See how that works? And then we're going to need to copy 1 more of those. So I'm going to copy 1 more of those from here to here. And then we're going to trim that up. Okay, so we're going to trim. We're going to trim to this vertical and this vertical. And we're going to trim that out. We're going to trim that out. We're going to trim that out. We're going to clean up this corner here. Okay, so here I'm going to fill it with a radius of 0, this edge to this edge, and then I'm going to trim to that vertical, and I'm going to take that. Okay, those are detailed threads, and that's almost exactly what we're going to do 3D modeling next week when we 3D model threads. Now, a couple of things about layers. I'm going to turn my line weights back on. And you can see what happens here is these angled lines for the actual edges of the thread, they're going to get gunked up on the print because they're kind of thick. So let's go see if we can do some layer properties management. And so I created a layer called threads, and I dropped the line weight a little bit. They are visible lines, so I don't want them my thin line size, but I tried 0.5 and it was still kind of gloppy. It was still kind of too thick to be running side by side. So I dropped it to 0.4 and it seemed to work pretty well. And so my thread lines, which are these guys, and that one, don't forget him, he's a straggler. I put them on that threads layer so that when it prints, you can see the distinction, that there's a space between them and so forth. Okay. Now, I'm not going to show you the rest of this. Make sure you have all of the dimensions on here. Make sure you're using leader to call out the thread. Make sure that thread callout has 3 decimal places. Make sure your views are in their proper home. Make sure the views are correct. Remember that a center line cannot become an object line. And my part's not done. I'm missing some hidden lines over here. So if I'm missing hidden lines, I either need to draw them in, or I need a note on my drawing that says some hidden lines omitted for clarity. I did set this up on a B size single view, and I set it up on a B single view at 2:1. So just so you know, and then you're going to send these each as a PDF attached to an email. One email each, please, because I'm using a filtering system to filter those into the correct boxes and then to download them as a batch. And if you have multiple files attached to your emails, then the batch download doesn't work because it puts all the drawings together instead of filing them into file folders by assignment for me. So make it fast for me so I'm very happy when I'm grading, if you know what I mean. Make sure you follow the guidelines in Canvas for submitting each file individually. Okay, guys, have a great week. Hey, pay attention, stay close, and watch your emails and your Canvas announcements for possibly some technology updates that we may have for you so that we can make sure that everybody can access the technology that they need to do 3D modeling. So we're working on that. I'm supposed to meet with Fabio from IIT tomorrow, and we're supposed to find out if we can get you guys set up with some better equipment than what you're using. So hold tight, stand by. In the meantime, 3 two-dimensional drawings for me. Have fun. If you have questions, make sure you email me or Joe or Patrick. Have a great week. Bye.